Yo. So I've been putting this topic off, not because for any particular reason. I've just been kind of busy with other things. But I wanted to talk about dating in Japan for a little bit. The main thing I want to talk about is, as a foreign person, what I think the sort of racial dating hierarchy is in Japan. And this is mainly for Japanese women, as I am a straight guy. So, I mean, I don't really, that's my experience, right? Although I'd have to imagine that it's probably similar for foreign women, like Japanese guys that would date foreign women. I imagine it's probably similar, but I don't know. I haven't really asked that many Japanese guys about it, but I've experienced it on the end of Japanese women and sort of just being in Japan and hearing people speak and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so if you're a foreign guy in Japan, how Japanese women would rank foreign guys in terms of desirability by their race. So let's get controversial. Actually, it's probably not that controversial. Let's get this out of the way because this is probably important information. I am black. But down to the juicy bits. All right, let's just throw it out there right at the beginning. Without a doubt, and I think if you ask any foreign guy, any foreign person here, regardless of race, they will tell you the number one most desired race for dating Japanese women is without a doubt being a white person, being a white guy. Like that's by far number one. That is what these women picture in their mind when they think of foreign guy immediately. Like you just go foreign person and they're gonna picture white guy, right? That's what they see from Hollywood. Yes, obviously there are black people and other people that they see too, but mainly that's what they see from Hollywood. In their magazines, if they're not looking at Asian people in those ads and stuff like that, they're gonna feature white people in them, right? That is just what they're exposed to. When many Japanese women picture half Japanese babies, they are picturing the features of a half Japanese and half white, or what can be perceived as white child. And that is a sort of desired look. There's even a type of makeup here called hafugao, which is makeup to make you look a bit more like a half Japanese, half white person. Trust me, they're not trying to make you look like a half Japanese, half black person. It's the facial features of half white, half Japanese. That's the sort of desired look. Whenever you look at sort of studios, like photo studios that have little kids, I swear to God, if the child isn't just 100% Japanese, the child will be half white and half Japanese. Now, is this the part where I'm supposed to go, oh, it's whiteness and it's white supremacy, and, you know, the whiteness of white people is infecting the world? And no, that's not really it. Oh, it's because the Japanese are just so xenophobic and they're racist, and that's not really it. They're not even thinking that far. They're not even thinking about that. That's not it. I don't think that's really it at all. It's not because they hate other people and this and that. I do think that a part of it is just sort of an East Asian thing that has zero to do with white people at all. And that's the fact that lighter skin meant that you were not out in the fields. If you had sort of lighter skin, that means you came from a probably pretty upscale family. And so there is this idea of sort of like white skin in Japan, not just Japan, but Asia, East Asia in general, right? But especially in Japan, and I know in Korea as well, where women will go out of their way to not get sun tans, and because they don't want the little, like, you know, sunspots that develop in the future, but also because they just don't want to have brown skin. And it has zero to do with white people and everything just to do with Asian culture. It's funny because around summertime, I always make the comment that the Japanese vampires are going to come out, and how these vampires are only women, because some of these women, especially older women, will cover themselves head to toe. They look like fucking Darth Vader. They're just covered like you can't see anything, and it's pretty nuts. But the funnier thing is then some of them will complain about how hot it is. And I'm like, bitch, you're covered in head to toe. You've got on long sleeve things and all this shit, and you can't complain about it being hot. Look at you. But let me tell you about how much it's not really about white people and all about just culture. I was teaching at a junior high school way back in the day, and it was the end of the day. Kids were all getting ready for their school clubs, the kids that did clubs. And I'm walking around the school just, you know, popping into classrooms because kids are just hanging out. And I pop into one of the classrooms, and I believe these girls were either track and field or tennis or something like that. They were outside. Their sport was outside. So they're getting ready, and I see them putting on sunscreen, and I'm just being silly. And so I go, oh, what's that for? And one of the girls said, in Japanese though, she said to me, because being brown is bad. Like, we don't want to turn brown. And so I just looked at her, and now keep in mind, these girls are like 13, 14, 15 years old, right? So I thought, oh, here's a teaching moment. I looked at her and I raised my hand, showing the backside of my palm. and on my forearm, and I pointed at it and I said, brown is bad? And then they all looked at me and their eyes widened really wide because they realized what they said and how that came off. And then they start going, oh no. And I just kind of chuckled because I knew that that's not what they meant when they said that. But I think it was kind of funny because they just went like, they just had a moment of like, oh wait, that did not come out the right way I meant it. So all this to say that I would say yes, for the women in this country that would consider dating a foreign guy, there are many who the only guy they're really going to be interested in are white guys. And it's funny, I wish someone actually did a study on this, because I would say that without question, a white guy on a dating app in this country, Tinder, Bumble, whatever the hell it is, one of the Japanese ones, is going to do significantly better with matches than a black dude or someone else. Without question. Unless that woman is specifically looking for a black guy or looking for another Asian guy that's not Japanese or something like that, without a doubt, white dude's gonna do better. I remember an old Australian buddy of mine. We would both agree, like, we are not bad looking dudes, but his rate and my rate of matches, not even close, right? And the only real difference between us is simply the race thing, like, and he's not the only one, right? It's just, if you talk to any black dude and a white dude about Tinder matches and all that kind of stuff, you will definitely see a disparity in matches between the black guys and the white guys. And I'm sorry for the people I'm not mentioning here, but those are my biggest like data points, are black dudes and white dudes, as opposed to like being Hispanic and Indian or whatever else, other Asian. It's just, those are my main data points for that. That's probably what you would come across more than any other group, is a willingness to date a white guy than say someone else. And that's just the way it is. I'm not here to complain about it and be all like, oh, it sucks and this and all that, blah, blah. They should be open to seeing this. It's like, look, that's just what it is, man. And yeah. So yeah, definitely white. White is the main go-to. And I'm realizing how long these videos are kind of getting. So I think I'll break it up into like number 1, number 2, number 3. So white is definitely at the top. This is not to say that you could just be white and come over here. Those days are long gone. So you can't just be like, hey, look, I'm white, so love me. Nah, man. Nah, if you're a loser, you're a loser. It don't fucking matter. I tell you one thing, if you're a white dude and a loser, like a super loser, and you a black dude and you smooth as ice, yeah, that black dude's gonna win out. He's gonna win out. Trust me. But yeah, so the number 2 is, I would say, black. But here's the thing. There is a large gap between number 1 and number 2. It's like white, ginormous chasm, number 2 black. And I'll get into that in the next video.